Hello, truth seekers. I hope you're all wonderful on this Monday. A while ago when the emissaries first came through, they came through with a message of hope. And that was their message. They said, we have a message of hope. And it has never changed. It's always been a message of hope, despite everything that's happened. And so this is what I'm going to share with you today, is hope. So, I'll see you in the next part. So what is my message of hope? Well, it's based on a conversation that I had with those. And it was about my frustration. And what I was getting frustrated about was that there still seems to be an awful lot of people who are asleep, who are sleeping, who are not able to see what it is that's happening. And we've talked about the twangers, the people who you think you've got through to and then you realise you haven't. And it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for me, and I know it's frustrating for other people. And especially when you see those people contradicting themselves, and they do this a lot. And this is what I've seen in the years that I was a Jehovah's Witness. I saw people being hypocritical and contradicting themselves, and then I left that cult and I joined the other cult of society, the society cult, and I see these people contradicting themselves. Let me give you an example. I see people who are very, very, very anti against those who believe that there might be a bit of a conspiracy going on, that they might be lying to us, okay? And they are very, very tuned into, no, this whole pandemic is absolutely certain. We've got to be careful. You've got to be careful, and you shouldn't be just willy-nilly going around without masks on and talking to people and going to visit people and getting into big groups of people, okay? And I see these people saying this and like really towing the line, the narrative. Yes, the young people, they're terrible. Look what the young people are doing. It's all the young people's fault. And yet I watch them breaking their own rules over and over again. And they break the rules, and they're absolutely blind to the fact that they are breaking their own rules and criticizing other people for doing the same things that they're doing. I mean, obviously this is stark, horrible hypocrisy. And frankly, I'm fed up with it and I'm frustrated with it. So, I was talking to them and saying, my God, I'm so frustrated with these people. When are they going to wake up? And why can't they hear me when I'm talking to them? And what they said to me was this: look, everybody seems to use this metaphor that they're asleep. And they said, so we'll give you an even better metaphor for that. They said that these people are not asleep. These people are in a coma. These people are in a reality coma. And what they did was they showed me sitting next to a bed with somebody that's in a coma. Okay? And they said, this person can't be woken up because they're in a coma. So you can slap the face if you want. You can shout at them. You can scream at them. But they're not going to wake up because they're in a coma. Now, the fact is that there are two kinds of comas. A coma that happens when you have an accident, you bang your head and you go into a coma. And there's also an induced coma, right, which they do as well. If somebody's got, for example, swelling of the brain, they'll say, well, we're going to induce a coma. That'll keep them safe. And that's what's happened. These people have been induced into a coma. But regardless, they're in a coma. They cannot be reached. And so imagine that you've got a loved one and that you're sitting by the bed and the loved one's in a coma, you're not going to be angry with them because they're in a coma. You know, it's not like trying to wake up your son when he's got to go to school. Come on, get out, wake up. No, these people are in a coma. So this is what they said to me. We need to stop thinking about them being asleep and think about them being comatose. It's really beyond them. It's beyond them. And obviously they reminded me that it's not our job to wake those people up. Those people are in a coma because they've been induced. They're under the spell. They're under the magic. And we don't have that magic to undo that spell. That's not our job. It's not our job. And they will be woken up, but they'll be woken up in a very different way. Okay? That's not our job. But what they said was this, and this was kind of the most important part of the message, in my opinion, was they said, lots of times we become very frustrated that things aren't moving as fast as we want them, they aren't changing as fast as we want them, or everything seems to be the same. And they said, we've got to remember that the only constant in life is change. Change happens whether you like it or not. Change is constantly happening. Nothing ever stays the same, and you know that just by observing your own self in the mirror, and you know that nothing ever stays the same. And so they said we needn't worry about things being the same because change is constant and change is happening. And so what we have to do is just trust in the process that this will change. Time will change. And time is going to change such a lot. Okay, so that was their message. Now my message. This weekend I have been kicking my heels. I've been extremely happy. Why? Because there is such a lot going on at the moment. There is so many things happening all at the same time. Humankind, and I say this in the messages when I put them on YouTube, you know, the people are revolting. We are revolting, but not in a bad way, in a good way. There are so many movements. There are so many uprisings. There are so many demonstrations. There's so much going on. There are lawsuits being filed. People working on common law, and it's everywhere. So what happens quite often is when because of the way that they've isolated us, and you know this has been on purpose, they make us feel that we are alone. They make us feel that we might be the only ones who are thinking this, and that is so far from the truth. It is awesomely far from the truth. The issue is that everything that's happening is not given voice in the general public. We don't hear about it. We don't hear about the demonstration that was happening in London, where just thousands upon thousands of people were out when the lockdown was on, out. Getting arrested, so what? Making the police feel really bad about themselves, shouting at the police, telling them that shame on them. Thousands upon thousands of people. In Germany, the street from side to side filled with people walking down with a banner. And what was really interesting, there were so many people that the police were just walking ahead of them, but walking away from them. There's going to be a point that we reach, and we are just about reaching critical mass here. We're reaching a point where people are not willing anymore. And what's even more interesting is that when you hear the interviews going on with the people who were there, when you listen to them, everybody has the same message. It's like listening to yourself. It's like listening to your own thoughts. We don't want this. We want our freedom back. We want our rights back. We want freedom of choice for that. We want our children to live normal lives. We want to protect the world for our children, for our grandchildren. We want our businesses back. It's just everybody is saying the identical thing. Now what that's showing is that we're starting to get unity. Right? They've done their best to divide us, to make us worry about, no, well, I'm actually more vaccine than, no, I'm more COVID. It's all coming together. People are realizing that this is all one big thing. And it's absolutely beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch. And it's happening more and more and more. You see, this can only go one way. It can only go one way, because when you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. And people are waking up all the time, so our numbers are constantly growing. There is no option. There isn't an option to go back to sleep. Once you've woken up, you cannot go back to sleep. When you know that your life and your family's life is being put under threat, you can't go back to sleep again. And all that you do is educate yourself more and more and more. And so what's happening is our group is becoming bigger and more educated. And it's frightening the shite out of them. They don't know what to do with it anymore. They cannot stop it. Mainstream media is hemorrhaging people. People don't trust it anymore. People don't like it. People don't want to listen to it anymore. People are looking for alternatives. Government has lost all face. People don't like it anymore. People don't trust it anymore. People are looking for alternatives. And so everything that looked solid and immutable is crumbling around the new understanding, the new knowledge that we're getting. And it's no mistake. It's happening because I was told a long time ago by the emissaries that this was happening. We are in the Great Awakening. And the Great Awakening means that we are awakening in a great way, that we are going to have all the information. And so you can feel confident that we are moving fast toward a much better place. A much better place. Now there are people that are giving timelines and talking about the way that this is going to be resolved, and that this month is key to a resolution, and that by March everything will be resolved. Let's see. But what I'm seeing and what I'm observing with the way that this movement is taking hold, I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, because they've lost traction, they've lost hold. Okay? So, good news, and we're here to witness it. So just enjoy it. Get your popcorn, sit back and enjoy it, but participate. Remember, our job is to help and support those who've woken up. Because the people are in different stages. The people who have just woken up are horrified, absolutely horrified. You know, we are horrified, they are 100 times more horrified because it's brand new to them. So we have to support them, guide them, show them the way forward, show them how to unite. It's ever so important. The more unity we have, the stronger we become. Okay? Okay, I leave you with that. Enjoy your week and I'll see you on Friday.